I would like to
Nice.
take us away from Giant Boulevard
Okay.
to the ghost of Cock Lane.
Okay. All right. Was
Uh,
Cock Lane a famous porn star in the 20s?
no, it's an actual place in London, I believe. But
Just
yeah, the old
poorly
the old
named
Cock
for our
Lane.
juvenile American minds.
I'll be right there.
They call cocks roosters over there, but also
I
penises.
see.
They use it as well. So it's very confusing when yeah. A lot of mix-ups. A lot of people pulling their rooster out during sex.
This is a tale about arguably the most famous ghost of the 1700s.
Oh,
There's several books have been written about it, but in the interest of time, I've got like 3 articles up that I'm going to skip between.
yeah.
One from Burials and Beyond. That's the one I'm mostly going to use. And there's a Daily Mail and the Wikipedia. But this is from Burials and Beyond. Scratching Fanny, the ghost of Cock Lane.
Scratching Fanny.
Scratching Fanny.
You guys know what you're doing. This is a goof. 1700s.
Next online video game I enter with y'all. That's my name.
Scratching Fanny. I'll be the ghost of Cock Lane.
And I'll be Nancy Reagan.
Man,
That'll be relevant for the next hour.
She's finally getting recognized for her real work, and I think that's
Wait.
good.
Anne Rice also died. There,
Oh,
vampire.
whoa!
We got
That
that
is true.
vampire clout too on the clicks now. I just have to tag all of it.
For now, she's dead for now.
If tags are how things work anymore, I don't know.
That explains why they're doing that whole TV series on her books.
She's dead.
Nuts. I mean,
She can't make any money off it now. The time is right to strike.
That makes me think somebody got away with all of her money. Anyway,
Murder?
let's not talk
Sorry.
about that. She was found exsanguinated, upside down on a cross. She'll be back. It's fine.
In 1762, the haunting of Cock Lane gripped the nation and sent the capital wild with fear and excitement. Scratching Fanny, so called by the methods of her communication, was the ghost that dominated the 18th century. Was she murdered? Was she even real? The case still divides opinion today. The story of Fanny's life, death, and afterlife is certainly stranger than fiction. You might be able to hear a hound howling behind me.
It's the ghost of Scratching Fanny.
That's all right. That's why we're using
be Scratching
Zencaster. I can
Fanny.
remove most howlings and scratchings of ghosts behind us. So
Yeah,
it's either murder or not real at all, huh?
Once again,
Yes.
this is kind of how it goes.
Hey.
In 1760, William Kent rented a house in Cock Lane in the suburb of Westfield, London. Kent's sister-in-law, Fanny, had become romantically involved with him since his wife's death the year before. Also on the Wikipedia, they make note that William Kent is a famed usurer.
Oh, what is
and-
the
which is a sin if I remember the Old Testament.
That feels like one of those
Yes.
old sins we don't talk about too much anymore.
It's money lending.
Yeah.
He's
okay.
Oh yeah. By the
essentially
way,
a loan
banking
shark.
is not okay by the Bible. Like it's
Oh
Yeah.
wow!
Oh,
strictly talked
No,
about
they-
multiple times.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
They love
yeah.
their giants.
Interest.
They hate the
Loaning
gold
money with
trade.
interest.
Giants, yes. Gold traders, no. Gays, no. Giant beard sky man, big yes.
Yeah.
You don't want to know what they think about pedophilia.
Big yes.
They go back and forth.
Chapter to chapter.
It's complicated.
It's a real beautiful corpse, that book.
This guy's wife and child had died. His wife died in childbirth, and then her sister moved in with him
God damn.
to help take care of the child, and then the child died, and that's when he started getting down with Fanny,
Sure.
the sister of his dead wife.
What else is there to do, I suppose?
Which is
Does,
just
all-
the Hamlet thing to do. Your
Yeah.
brother,
Yeah.
sister's husband, or dies. You gotta marry their husband or wife.
I mean, it's fucked up by
But-
today's standards, but in the 1700s, this was Thursday. It was just everyone's
Yeah.
dying.
Here's the thing.
Cling to
They-
life.
They actually couldn't legally marry.
Oh, because it was so
because,
wrong.
because
yeah.
they were related.
So they just lived together in sin.
Oh,
And at one
wow.
point,
Shout out. Shout out.
Shout
at one
out.
point, yeah. At one point, their landlord, who another article mentioned as being a criminal and a drunk, he
out.
was in he was in debt pretty heavy, so he decided to borrow 20 pounds from Mr. Kent, his renter.
that
And then
doesn't
after he found out that this guy and Fanny were actually living in sin in his house, he refused to pay him back.
Whoa. Fuck you,
became
dude.
Wow.
A big problem between the two.
Man, imagine having your landlord be like, "Hey, can I borrow some money?" But it's like, because you're a sinner, I'm not gonna give it back to you.
Because of
Like,
sins. Wow.
that's
Yeah.
20
fucking
pounds
fucked
in
up.
1800s money. That's like 60 million now.
1764, I believe. Yeah, it's a decent chunk of change.
Mhm.
I'm going to jump up ahead a little because while Kent was away attending a wedding, noises began to resonate throughout the house. At first, these were scratches and knocks and weren't initially attributed to anything supernatural. Such news began to spread, and the nearby landlord, James Franzen, different landlord, who was just hanging out,
Still a bastard.
yeah, probably, soon bore witness to the first appearance of the specter. Franzen reported to have seen a white ghostly figure ascend the stairs of the lodgings, and the house's reputation began to grow.
Scorching funny.
After the Kents briefly moved to a nearby apartment, Fanny fell gravely ill. She was diagnosed as suffering from the early stages of an eruptive fever, which soon developed into smallpox.
Oh,
As the couple were not married, Fanny was keen to get her affairs in order and made sure that a will was drawn up to name Kent as her beneficiary. At this point, as Fanny lay on her deathbed, the spectral problems continued, with the ghostly apparition identified as Fanny's sister Elizabeth. Succumbing to her
Whoa.
illness, so the sis came back
she's
to
back. That means she was
haunt-
there. That means she saw.
Yeah.
yeah,
She saw everything they did. It
Gross.
was-
Too late.
gross, very
I've
gross.
seen everything. Wow.
Succumbing to her illness, Fanny died a short time afterward. Due to their shameful living arrangements, arranging a funeral for Fanny was more than problematic. While Kent tried to remain nameless throughout, his name was recorded on her death certificate, and her family caught wind of the news. Her other sister, the living one, was appalled at Fanny's will, which left her siblings very little, leaving the lion's share to Kent, including 150 pounds and some land inherited from her brother. After a failed attempt to block the will, the family went their separate ways, and there was no love lost between them.
Wow. So I couldn't have been more wrong about the 1700s. You don't fuck anyone that God hasn't signed off
Ever.
on, that God hasn't fully inspected and said, yes, put it in.
In the following years, Kent trained as a stockbroker and remarried. Yet he did not forget the debt owed to him by his old landlord, Parsons. Kent took legal action and recovered his debts.
Yeah.
He held this grudge for years.
Seriously, that's 20 pounds.
Yeah, man.
That's all the money there was.
It goes on to say that as soon as the money was back in his account, the mysterious noises at the Cock Lane residence started once again.
Oh, what?
Yep, the ghosts returned
Oh,
as soon as he got paid off.
Because you
After
can't
the
stop
couple-
a ghost. When a ghost likes something, he's just gonna keep scratching.
That's so you
Yeah.
think you think the ghost is in it for the game.
Yeah, ghosts,
that
ghosts
fan
don't
needs
care
to
about
keep
money.
scratching.
Ghosts are game,
Look,
baby.
you can take the scratch out of Fanny, but you can't take the Fanny out of the scratch.
Mm-hmm.
After the couple had left, a woman called Catherine Friend had moved into the lodgings at Cock Lane, but moved when she couldn't
Kitchen
handle the
Kathy!
knockings any longer.
Oh, they call
s-
me Dirty Kath. We've all got
sound-
horrible nicknames.
The sounds had also developed to include cat-like scratching noises, all of which appeared to emanate from young Elizabeth Parsons. This is the daughter of the landlord. However, with Fanny So they moved out after Fanny died, and then the landlord moved back into his house with his daughter, and briefly this woman Catherine Friend was there, who fled from the ghosts.
Dude, ghosts and witchery used to be wild.
It's a big deal.
This is like 5 years of these people's life.
They just don't make ghosts like they used to, you know?
It's true.
However, with Fanny now dead, Elizabeth and her father came to the conclusion that the haunting was attributed to a new ghost with unfinished business, Fanny herself. So no longer the sister who's angry.
Showed her the ropes, though. I think the angry sister killed.
She brought
Fanny.
her in. She brought her into the fold.
I think she killed Fanny and then showed Fanny how to ghost.
She's like, I want you in on this. She was like recruiting from the land of the living.
I think it was more like, oh, you've fucked me husband, have ye? Well, how's an erupting fever for ye? And then when Fanny died, she's like, oh no, am I a ghost? And she goes, I are. Good luck, you bitch, and fucked off. You know?
Oh god.
Yeah, she's like,
why.
This is like it's like
leaving Fanny to scratch.
Yeah. It's like the It Follows curse, you know, where you're like, you fucked my husband, and now I used to fuck my husband, and I died, and I'm a ghost. Now you fucked my husband, and now you're dead, and now you're a ghost. I'm out of here.
Everything's a metaphor for sexual disease.
I'm off to register with Ghost Central Casting and haunt a nice place in the country.
Well, it turns out the case is actually possibly one of poison and murder.
Oh, there it is.
Sherlock Holmes.
There it
is. We're in the right era.
Yes.
This is the guy, right?
Parsons, the landlord, he was angry. Fanny's death gave him the opportunity to spread rumors about Kent, because he was still pissed off about having to pay him back that 20 pounds. Years later.
He's like such a landlord. This guy is the most landlordy of all.
Truly.
Oh my god, this whole ghost haunting curse is just about 20 pounds. I just now remembered.
2 people are dead. 2 people are now dead.
3 people are dead if you include the kid.
Are now dead. I don't.
So the landlord set to telling the world that Fanny's death was a case of murder and Kent was the culprit. Sadly for Parsons, the article said, this didn't spread as wildly as he hoped, and he began to escalate his story.
Bad rumor.
Not only did Parsons claim that his house was haunted by Fanny's ghost, but his 12-year-old daughter had spoken to the specter herself, with Fanny telling the child that Kent had indeed poisoned her with arsenic. If you jump over to the Daily Mail or the Wikipedia, they have an account in a newspaper where they were doing the thing where the daughter was supposedly, for some reason, the daughter like stripped down and got into bed while a bunch of men sat around and watched her try and talk to this ghost. And it would knock twice for no and once for yes as they asked it questions.
1700s. Buck wild. Off the chain.
Oh, man. This is the scariest part of the story.
It truly
back
is.
when scientific control meant you had to get naked, child.
Yeah. I don't know. Get naked. If there's any ghosts, we'll see them.
Here's the quotable account from the newspaper. She asked, are you the wife of Mr. Kent? 2 knocks for no. Did you not naturally? 2 knocks once again for no. By poison? 1 knock for yes. Did any person other than Mr. Kent administer it? 2 knocks. Again, no. And then a member of the audience cried, Kent, ask the ghost if you shall be hanged. He did so. The reply was 1 knock.
Whoa.
Wow. So there was a massive investigation ongoing for weeks. I'm going to jump over a bunch of stuff.
Sorry, 1 knock is yes, right?
Yeah. So they asked if she was the wife. She said no, because they couldn't legally marry.
Right.
Did she die naturally, say of smallpox? No. She said no. She was poisoned by the guy who was her husband. Fever. Conveniently, the ghost would only appear to Elizabeth, but would communicate through a series of knocks. 1 yes, 2 no. We already covered that. The basic seance and communication via knocks predated the Fox sisters, who we've talked about. Spiritualist rapping by almost a century.
Sure.
And it was very popular with curious visitors and investigators alike. It became a whole big deal. People would come and they would pay a single guinea to try and see the ghost.
To watch the naked girl? Jesus.
Watch the naked girl climb into bed and talk to a ghost.
This does have echoes of the Fox sisters, I was going to say. Harlan, the Fox sisters.
Yeah, I don't know about this.
Were famously these twins who were talking to ghosts, and it was exposed that they were using their toes to make popping sounds,
cracking the knuckles in their feet
for the raps of the ghosts.
Man, what a move! That makes me respect them more, honestly.
Truly,
let's go, turning your weird
toes
toe cracks into ghosts. That's amazing.
You know, when God gives you weird toe cracks, make weird toe crackmanade. I don't know what's happening here. But this sounds, because my first thought was these people are pulling the same game. This young woman is claiming to be in contact with the spirit when she's simply under the blanket making some sort of clap happening with her body.
Yeah, she's got a string tied to a hammer on the wall.
Yeah.
It's
but maybe
not dissimilar.
Yeah.
But I like that it said yes to the person being hanged, because I like how Dad's like, you better do this, and then it's like, will Dad be hanged? And it's like, yes. Fuck you. Yeah,
that is a moment of intrigue for sure if it's the person.
She doesn't like this Kent character who once forced her father to pay back 20 pounds.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, for some reason I thought it was the person being hanged was the dad, but no. So I just got confused. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a British soap opera. There's a lot of characters. I was having a hard time keeping up as well.
Oddly enough, this haunting does appear in at least 3 Charles Dickens novels. He referenced it several times. There were always a lot of characters.
This was just like a fad haunting, right? This was just like just not a good haunting, but a haunting that caught fire. You know,
it became a kind of spiritualist event.
Yeah,
people were coming to
more like it.
The father and daughter duo were soon out of their depth when their ghost went on the road with them.
Oh no. Can you just say that sentence one more time? Just say it one more time, just for fun.
The father and daughter duo were soon out of their depth when their ghost went on the road with them.
That's good. That's really great.
Get it back in the cage. Oh, what's it doing? Oh, it's in the cab.
The ghost told a gathered crowd that it would follow Elizabeth everywhere, to which the ever-present committee of investigators said, "Prove it." The committee took the girl to the house of a clergyman and asked her to communicate with Fanny. Instead of a manifestation, the ghost could only produce knocks, instantly rousing suspicion. The duo also claimed that the ghost would appear to anyone who visited her burial vault. Fanny's sister, who still believed that Fanny's will was unlawful, was also keen to see proof of her sister's smallpox, having been denied an open coffin at her burial.
Holy fuck.
People are also...
I'm still stuck on burial vault.
This goes round and round and round. Yeah, they must have had some money if they were building those weird Victorian pyramids.
And right now, all these people do believe that this Kent guy murdered his wife because the ghost being channeled by a young girl has said so. So he's been fucked over completely.
Oh, he's done. He's in the gutter. Okay.
Listen, the ghost has never lied to me before. Why would it lie now?
Gosh, imagine loaning someone $100 and then they're like, and you don't pay.
Oh, and they ruin your reputation and your life over it.
Yeah, and exactly. And it's like somebody more powerful than you. It's like somebody like a landlord, and they're like, "Yeah, you murdered your wife, and the ghost is pissed at you." The ghost is pissed.
What? I just want the money back. That's fine. I'll just go.
The ghost that appeared spontaneously right after the guy was paid back.
Yeah.
The committee of skeptics visited the vault and was met with silence. Parson had remarked that Kent's presence alone would be sure to rouse her angry spirit. As Kent stood in the vault surrounded by expectant investigators, the air remained silent. Exhausted by years of accusations, Kent insisted on opening Fanny's coffin. Unsurprisingly, they revealed her decomposing body. The special matter was at an end.
Holy shit!
The state of Fanny's body was too much for the champions of the ghost and of Parsons, with John Moore, a renowned preacher, fully taken along by Parsons' deception, announcing in 1762 that, quote, I do hereby certify that though from the several attendances on this occasion, I have not been able to point out how and in what manner those knockings and scratchings of the supposed ghost were contrived, performed, and continued, yet that I am convinced that those knockings and scratchings were the effects of some artful, wicked contrivance.
Wow.
Crazy.
Legally, however, Kent was not about to sit down. He indicted Parsons, his daughter, and several other conspirators. All were swiftly found guilty in order to pay Kent a substantial amount for the distress. Still protesting his innocence, Parsons was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment and was ordered to stand in the pillory 3 times before being finally released. So the pillory is the Victorian stocks. So instead of being bent fully over into the public stocks, you're standing up also with your head through a little hole with your arms locked in. It's, I guess, slightly shittier than the stocks, or slightly less shitty. I'm not sure.
Slightly less shitty in a different way. Still,
yeah. Once he got out of prison, they put him in public stocks 3 times.
Wow.
Just for funsies, I guess.
And then people just pellet you with fruit and
it actually says Parsons was
probably.
It says Parsons was treated well by the crowds as he stood in the pillory, with several people making collections of money for him.
Oh, that's nice. I've never heard of somebody killing it in the pillory.
Yeah. Well, also this is a crowd of people. This man is a liar who fleeced an entire town over 20 pounds.
Wow.
And around the collection hat.
Yeah,
they
the community's like,
this
nice
guy.
Hell yeah, good job.
Like, listen, yeah, that's the fucking game respect game. That thing with the clicks, good job. We loved it. What a couple of months this has been.
Yeah, it's like magicians now, where they're like, I know this is fake, but like, still, I'm having a great time.
What a ride it's been, Copperfield.
There was a person who caught the daughter holding a bit of wood that she was using to bang on the wall at one point.
You're holding a piece of wood.
Wait, she's got a ghost rod under here.
Also, literally bang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although the Cock Lane ghost was essentially disproven, its importance in the public eye was well established, as belief in the afterlife was essential in Christian doctrine, and several preachers have become embroiled in the case. A debate as to the place of the supernatural in Anglican and Methodist belief erupted across the country. This is insane. It caused a schism between the new Methodists and the Anglican Church.
How have I never heard?
Let's fucking go. I love that people are like, God, I love it so much that they're like, well, if you don't believe in this ghost, then you don't believe in God.
Do you
care about
the man in the pillory? He's killing it out there.
There were a bunch of...
He didn't pay back that 20 pounds because he believes in God. It's just like, fuck you, Fox News. Like, what's going on?
Fucking crazy.
There were multiple plays and farces written about this very thing.
Damn.
There was a great quote. There was this. Where's the guy's name?
This is like some
David Garrick dedicated the enormously successful The Farmer's Return to this satirical artist William Hogarth. The story concerns a farmer who regales his family with an account of his talk with Miss Fanny, the comedy being derived from the reversal of traditional roles, the skeptical farmer poking fun at the credulous city folk. Hogarth, in turn, made his own play called Credulity, Superstition, and Fanaticism in 1762. 20 years later, they're still doing plays.
I'll show you. I'll make my own damn play.
This is like the Monica Lewinsky of the 1700s, and everybody's fascinated with it.
Even more so, check this out. There's an illustration he did that makes a point of attacking Methodist ministers, one of whom is seen to slip a phallic ghost, quote unquote, into a young woman's bodice.
Whoa! Wow. Interesting.
I'm glad A from Beyond came back to listen to that line.
Also, shout out Adam P, who was in here earlier. Adam, you should have stuck around, man. Shit got sorted.
He again attacked the Methodists in the Times, Plate 2. placing an image of Thomas Secker, who had tried to intervene on behalf of the Methodists, behind the Cock Lane ghost and putting the ghost in the same pillory as the radical politician John Wilkes, which implied a connection between the demagoguery surrounding the Methodists and Pittites. I don't know who the Pittites are, but they're apparently another version of Methodism.
We'll have to cover that on our sister podcast, Pittite Radar.
Here's an amazing quote. The print-enraged Bishop William Warburton, who, though a vocal critic of Methodism, wrote about Hogarth, "I have seen Hogarth's print of the ghost. It is a horrid composition of lewd obscenity and blasphemous profaneness, for which I detest the artist and have lost all esteem for the man."
God, they were shit posting through newspapers so hard back then.
God, that's amazing.
Fantastic.
He said, what? Take a note, Bernice.
And
take a letter.
If you're interested, there is a ton more about the Cock Lane ghost.
Crazy. The Cock Lane ghost.
Huge. There are multiple books, multiple plays, pieces of
if you can post a good link in
literature.
the Discord, do that for us, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to the Wikipedia, it'll give you footnotes for all of this stuff. So that's probably the easiest way to find it.
The craziest part about that story isn't even that it's the Cock Lane ghost whose name is Fanny. It's like that's just like the least.
That's just
standard juvenile part of
standard 1700 stuff.
Truly, yeah. Oh, you haven't heard about the cartoon of a priest slipping a ghost dick into someone's dress.
The phallus from Cock Lane.
So fucking wild. Thank you for that, Nate. Your segment, the phallus from Cock Lane and the fanny it scratched, has opened my eyes to the lascivious doings in the 1700s. I think we need to look up more of these. You know that this was like hot pop culture at the time. Like, did you hear about the new ghost? This one's done horrible things.
Yeah, I mean, London society lived off of this thing for
fucking
months.
Crazy. I think that does it for this episode of Werewolf Radar. What an episode. Giant sized. Harlan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Harlan Kelly.
That was a true joy.
Where can people find you all over the internet?
Yeah, if I'm here to plug anything, I'm here to plug Better Than Heroes. It's a Spelljammer, a 5e Spelljammer D&D game that Jordan and I are both participants in every Monday. We're taking this month off to kind of catch our breath, but January of 2022, we will be back with a new arc. A great place to jump into because it's the start of a new storyline. So come check us out there. You can find that on YouTube just by searching Better Than Heroes. Same thing on Twitter where you can find us under Better Than Heroes there as well.
BTHD&D, right?
Yeah, BTHD&D as the tag there. And you can check out, I mean, my socials are just me hanging out online, but like Jordan said, I'm your kind sister on Twitter, and we should hang out on Instagram if you want to just follow the weird shit that I do outside of Better Than Heroes. So.
You should too. I can confirm Harlan is an excellent Twitter follow.
Thank you.
Many a good goof has been had on the
Not a day
line.
goes by that he doesn't slay a mind flayer.
Exactly. Thank you.
But we're getting hard into those D&D memes over there on BTHD&D too, and it's a lot of fun. Until then, you can actually catch us here at Werewolf Radar playing D&D on Mondays at 5 p.m. Mountain. I think it might be
because of football.
I think it'll be 4 until
4 p.m. Mountain time. Go to twitch.tv/.
Oh, the Broncos don't play tomorrow. So.
Radar.
Great game, super fun. Yeah,
you can watch.
Oh yeah, we're enjoying it. We're almost maybe done. We're getting there.
Curse of Strahd. It's a kind of a vampire hunty D&D module with a bastard named Strahd, who's a great bad guy because he's truly an irredeemable fuck. And every time he shows up, we're just like, boo!
Which I was a guest character on. I'm hoping to show back up if you need some help when you fight Strahd. If you need some,
absolutely,
just when you fight Strahd, you know.
So check that out. Follow all of our socials. If you like Werewolf Radar, you can go and check us out on Patreon. We have a free episode for you every week. We have friggin' content and merch and some art coming your way for the spooky season. We're keeping it spooky across the holidays. So go check us out on
Yeah,
Patreon.
it's
A little bit
it's
of
a-
a shout out to our new patron, Lee Southwell. Thank you for joining the
Yeah.
Dark Council.
Ow, ow, ow. To those of you who
It's
can
a-
join us in the
A minimum
Zoom
of
hangout,
90 minutes of content per week.
hell
coming to you
yeah.
from Werewolf Radar.
Hell
Sometimes more when we get baked and the grave nugget goes long.
yeah.
There's also news. There's all kinds of shit. Plug Werewolf Radar into Google. See what comes up. You'll be surprised. Until next time, thank you to Chuck from Snappy Little Numbers for our intro and outro song. On the count of 3, we're going to do our sign-off line. Harlan, it's Punch the Sky, Spaceman Joe. You ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
1, 2, 3. Punch
Punch the sky,
Spaceman
Spaceman
Joe.